going to go on and finish this page, the page with 2 portrait photos. And to do that, what I've done is I've gone through and pulled out 2 different sorts of letters, some thickers and some mini market letters that I'll use on the page for the title. I've just got a plain A4 piece of normal printing paper, and I'm going to show you what I'll do with that in a minute. I've pulled out 2 of our scrap pieces that I'll use a bit later on as well. The other things that I've got are some punches. So I've got 2 different size stars and a circle, and my Sharpie pen, some washi tape, and we're going to make some rosettes. I've been playing with these and I'm going to show you how to make those. And the idea for these came from a Pinterest site where this person has gone through and actually shown you how to make these rosettes using washi tape and paper. So we'll go through and do that. And so my intention at this stage is, I'm not going to use this light one. I think it's a bit big, but I'm going to use this one here and this one here, and we're going to finish them off. They're not finished yet. And probably I'll make another one and another small one, and we'll have a look and see how that turns out. So the first thing I'll do is go through and actually make a rosette with you. And so the first thing you need to do is cut a strip of the A4 paper. Now, depending on the size of your rosette, that will determine how long these strips need to be. This one here is about 6 centimetres wide, and I used about 40 to 45 centimetres to make this one. And this one here is only 4 centimetres, and I think it was about 20 centimetres strip that I needed that. So if we're making one this size, we only need 1 strip. If we're making one this size, we'd need 2, and we would need to join 2 bits together, and I would use that just using the Tombow glue that I usually use. But because we're making a small one, we will just need 1 strip of paper, and we'll put some washi tape on it, and then I'll show you how I fold it and bring it all together. Okay, so I've cut a 2 centimetre strip from that A4 piece of paper, and what I'm going to do now is stick the washi tape down onto that, and just as best you can stick it down as straight as you can. Washi tape is very forgiving, so it makes it pretty easy to work with. And I've just torn that off at the end to remove it. And I will just trim up the ends so we don't get bits sticking where we don't want things to get sticking. Now what we need to do is just concertina fold this strip. I've done this one and this one I did by hand, and that worked perfectly fine. The other thing that I've tried is to use a scoring tool, and I've got one on an old Fiskars cutter, and so what I can do, it's just got a scoring blade on it so it doesn't cut it, and so what I can do is actually just bring it along, and about every 3 or 4 millimeters I want to just put a score on the paper. And so you just go through and do that like so. scored piece of paper, what we need to do is just start folding it. And if you know anything about origami, it's a mountain followed by a valley fold, or vice versa, and you just keep folding in a concertina style until the whole piece is folded. And I find just sort of pressing it all together as you go helps to make the folds stay and make it a bit easier. Okay, so you now need to sort of get all the concertinas to sort of push together and work properly. And I've sort of fiddled with this for probably a minute or two just to make sure that everything's sort of concertinaed. And you notice that I didn't sort of fold it all the way to the end, and that's because I didn't think I was going to need that whole length. And what you're looking for is you want to be able to spin the rosette right around so that it'll sit completely flat and there's no sort of puckering or anything there. And so really we only need it to about where I've folded it. And so the way I join them together is I just cut the excess off, and then I basically overlap them, and I put some glue in to hold it all together. So just using the blue Tombow again, and you'll just need to hold it for a little bit while it holds and sticks, but it doesn't take very long. So you just want to put that together and hold it there while it grabs hold and glues. In the meantime, while it's doing that, I've just got an offcut of a scrap piece, and it doesn't matter what colour it is because we need a piece to adhere underneath the rosette, and so just any piece, and that's what I'm going to use the circle punch for. I just go in, cut the circle, and we'll use that to stick all this together and hold it really nicely and firmly. So that should be ready to go now. So I've got my hot glue gun heating up, and hopefully it's hot enough now to do its job. And so I just sit it down ready to go, and I go into the middle with the hot glue gun and just put a glob of glue down. Try not to get too many stringy bits. And then what we want to do is go in, and you might want to practice this before you put your glue down, and just push it down and then push it in, and you'll get a sort of blob of glue coming up out of the center. And you just want to hold that while it cools down a little bit. And then what I've tended to do once it's sort of getting nearly dry, I've tried two different things. I've just let it dry completely like that and then just cut that blob of glue off the top, and that works fine. The other thing you can do, if there's not too much, is wait till it's cool, because you don't want to burn yourself, and just tap it down so it sort of goes into the creases there, because we're going to put something over the center. And so now you just can go through and straighten things out a bit, and there you've got your rosette happening nicely there. And so we've now got 3 rosettes that we can use on this page. and all made from the same washi tape. I've just got a larger centre white piece here and a slightly larger bit on the outside. So 3 different sizes, just changing the width of the paper that you start with to get your rosettes. And so now what we'll do is finish these off and put them on the page and finish off the page. Okay, to finish these rosettes off, we need something to sort of cover over the middle where all the joins are. So again, using the circle punch, and this time using the same paper that we used on the page, an offcut of it, I'm going to cut a circle punch, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that for our centerpiece. I think on the small one it's just too big to do that, so I won't be doing that. On the medium one we could do that, so I might just at the moment cut a second one and we'll just see how we go, whether we use that one or not. This is a double-sided page and I could actually turn it over and use that with the bit of red in it. It does look quite good. But what I want to finish these off with is a star, and I want to bring in the red from the basil. And so what I want to do is make sure when I put this in and I line the star up, I'm actually getting as much of the red as I possibly can. And so I end up with the red there. I don't think either of these needs the big star. I think we can just do the small star for that. And I'll cut the small one here. And I'll cut another one. I think I missed a bit there. And I'll just try to get to the rest of this red here to get the second full star. Okay, so we're just keeping everything consistent here. I need to have a look and decide whether we want a full star. Certainly that smaller star works for the small one. Maybe what I need to try and do is get another big star out and try it on the medium one. So just turning the punch over and getting as much red as I can. See if that looks better than this one here. Still not sure, so I might also look at, just cut this one down a bit. It's not the best circle that we've ever seen, but I don't think you'll really notice it when it comes down to it. And star. I'm thinking that that is probably going to work, and I do prefer the same green paper that we've had on this page. So what I'll do now, I'll just use double-sided tape or the blue Tombow glue to stick these down, and because we've got such a nice base underneath, we can use that to glue the rosette to the page. We'll just see how we go and figure out where I might put these rosettes now that we've got them made. Then I need to start thinking about the title. For me, an obvious place to put the title is up here. We've got our L shape happening again. I could journal down here. I could even put the title on the grey bit here and overlap on the photos, especially because there's nothing really important going on here in the photos, and if I want to keep the journaling on this bit here, that might work really well. So I might just have a look at that. When I'm looking for placement of the rosettes, I'm looking to get a triangle shape, and also looking for what's going to guide the eye through, and I'm liking that. And where you decide to put it, what you want to do is cover as many of the layers that you've got as possible. So putting it here is a really good idea because you're covering everything from the photo right down to the cardstock, and so that's a really good position for it. This one up here, I'm quite happy for it to just come over onto the photo again. There's nothing important up in that top corner. This one here, I'm sort of preferring it down lower a bit, especially if you think if I put my title here and the journaling here, that will then tile that together. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. And so I'll just have a look at the size of the letters. Now I've had a look at these and I can only use the capitals. So at the moment I'm just putting them on the page without actually pressing them down or lining them up entirely, just to get a feel for how they fit on the page and how they will look in that position. So I've left a space there because I'm thinking of bringing these ones in here. At this stage I'm thinking I might even put those on a separate piece of cardstock and actually put it over the top of these ones here, but I'll need to check the length, but I think that that's going to work. So I'm happy with that, so I'm going to start putting things in place. I might do my journaling before I put the rosettes down just so it's easier to work. And to do that, I just use a Sharpie pen, and a nice fine one. And because I've got the black colouring coming through, I'm quite comfortable using black pen. And I tend to do my journaling by hand, not because I particularly like my handwriting. In fact, I probably don't like my handwriting, but I like to get pages finished, and I find that if you actually go ahead and do your journaling there and then, the whole page can be finished and you can put it in your album, and you're not got it sitting around waiting for you to get on the computer and print out some journaling. So try doing that if you don't do it normally, and just see if it helps you to get pages finished. So I'll just do some journaling now and just stick all these things in place, and we'll just come back and look at finishing it up in a minute. Okay, so we've now got everything stuck down. In the end I decided to change. I was going to say motorbike dude, but when I was doing the journaling I came up with cool biker dude, and I thought, well, that fits really well, and so I didn't need to stick these stickers onto a separate piece and sort of lay it over the top, and so that's why I've put these ones just straight down onto the background paper. And I'm happy to call this page finished, except that I haven't put the date on it, but I will add the date. It's written on the back of the page, so I just need to check, and I'll probably add the date to maybe this spot here or maybe this spot here, so I'll do that, and this page will be complete. So we've now got 2 pages in our series, just 2 more pages to finish off, and this set of pages will be complete. I hope you're enjoying it, and hopefully I'll get the next video out very shortly.